Hi guys, and welcome to the Writing Community Chat Show. This is a very brief video for you guys about the Pro Writing Aid and our first impressions really of not very much the software but the first summary report. I uploaded the first chapter of my work in progress and it came up with quite a few suggestions. I fixed a few of those using its suggestion processes, and then I ran the report again. So this is the summary report and this is what it's come up with, which is a much better looking document. And the first thing to notice is that this report is fantastic. It just highlighted there that you can get better results if you choose a more specific genre. Didn't realize that was a thing, so I will go back and do that. It is very detailed and it highlights a lot of things as an author I perhaps wouldn't have known, or especially new authors might not know. The first three things it picks up is your grammar score, your style score and your spelling score. And of course the style will adapt to the genre that you choose. So I'm at 98% at the moment, and it started off down there around 60 odd. So again, it uses its suggestions and helps you achieve those goals. And what I really like about this software is the fact that it gives you highlights and negatives and highlights and positives, so you can work on those things. So 80% achieved, goals achieved, is fantastic to think this. As someone who previously released my first book without having this sort of support, you know, it's really a good tool to get it to a level that you feel much more comfortable at to send off to a publisher or an agent, or even if you're self-publishing, to really get it nailed. So a style score, and it gives you an I button, like an information button on each of these categories as well, which does open up a tutorial and explanation about these things. So you've got spelling scores, readability, which is quite an important tool. I've previously shown you guys the Hemingway app that simplifies your grammar and your sentence structure, which is a free web browser app, but also this does it for you as well. So it's very good in that sense. It's got sentence variety, which is very good to know. Your passive voice, which is obviously a key thing not to try and get too much of, or at all there. I've got it down to 0. Again, these are things I might not have known without using the software, because it is a really good breakdown of everything in your writing. It's opened my eyes to a lot of things. Slow pacing, I'm very happy to see that it's 0%, so it really does give you that insight. Ings, a sentence starting with ing. Dialogue tags, you know, these are things that are quite important, and it tells you sort of what they suggest you should be in, so it gives you that goal. And a lot of those you'll see I'm very much on the edge, but I will work them up. Where your document needs work, so this is again very crucial. So I've got a great 80% of the general things up there. Where I need to work on, grammar score is just 2%, that may be a very slight issue. Sentence length, and it explains why it's important to have longer sentences in terms, and why it's better to have less long sentences, but it wants me to work on that slightly. And there's glue index as well. Now the glue index is something that I was unfamiliar with, but this actually shows you, it was a lot higher, it was around 60% and it's dropped to 43, so it is very close to that target. It shows you how that you're using the sort of same words in a close proximity, and it's like sticky words, and it breaks it down to make it more fluid. And the emotional tells is come down very slightly, but it's something that I need to work on more in my manuscript, because emotional tells, I am telling rather than showing a lot of emotion in my characters, which is great, but I need to transfer that into the ability for you to work that out with your mind. So that's something I can work on, and that will improve my writing. The grammar check, as you can see there, I didn't even know I'd written that, so it obviously didn't pick it up, or I didn't see where it picked it up. But abend I've written, clearly not the right word, but it's picked that up, so that will put my score up to 100% once that's corrected. Spelling score 100%, you know, happy smiley face. Writing style check 100%, you know, as a new writer or into my third book, I'm very happy to see that. Very happy to see 0 passive voice. Emotional tells, again, it's highlighted something that I need to work on, but this is where this gets really interesting. So per 1,000 words, it gives you these breakdowns and it compares them to yourself, to an average reader or writer, and established author, which you can change in your settings. So you can have Stephen King, Tolkien, there's many of them, so you can just change those. So it gives you a breakdown of all of these little things. So your bad adverb usage, your good adverbs, and there's plenty of them. And it gives you a comparison then and a chart for each of those things, which is it's a really good insight. Here you go, you got your averages and your average compared to Don Miguel Ruiz. And some of them very far off, and some of them very close. Sentence length check, just dipping out of that. And it says we suggest a score of 11 to 18, and I'm a 9.8, so it's not very far. And it says, you know, a lot of long sentences will exhaust your reader. On the other hand, maybe perhaps too short will become choppy, disjointed, and will worsen the reading experience. So it's just tidying things up. Sentence variety is kind of bang in the middle. I'm not sure if it means that you should push towards the top end, or it's quite happy to sit in the middle. And then the breakdowns again, and on that first one there, I'm very much on the average. And then moving on to the second part, you know, I'm more in line with the established author. Third graph there, completely all over the shop, and then, you know, similar towards the end. So it definitely highlights areas that you can improve on if you want to go in that direction. I haven't got any very long sentences, which I think is good, and that says brilliant. We suggest less than 3%. I've got 0, so that's handy. Yeah, remember, long sentences will exhaust your reader and they get confused. Readability check, this is what I mentioned before, the same as the Hemingway. So that's based on like a US school grade. And readability, like grade 4, should be comfortable to read that, and you don't want it too complex. 7, ideally you're looking around 7 to 10, I believe. But they say less than 10 is good. But again, you don't want it too simple, because you don't want it to be such an easy read that it's not really challenging. It's highlighting one paragraph that's very hard to read there. I'm not sure why. I'll have to look into that. And again, it carries on with these charts. Conjunction starts, usage. We've got our ing starts. It's down to 1% for me, which is good. Pacing check is good. And obviously, if it's not, it might give you suggestions of how to deal with those things. Sticky sentences, something I need to look at, and again, it's highlighted that for me. And it says there the power, the bar chart, that they'll actually highlight those areas. Repeats check, which is kind of cool. It highlights all the words that you've used very often. Not always a bad thing. As you can see from down below now, it will show you a lot of those are my character names, and when I'm dealing with a lot of characters, there's no other way than to deal with them by using their names. So Alice, clearly a main character, Brooke is a main character of mine, so they've appeared and they will be there, and it's not a bad thing, but it's kind of cool to see that there. Dialogue tags, it goes through that. Non-standard dialogue tags is very on point with average. Distribution of dialogue and how that works. Unusual dialogue tags. Adverbs with unusual tags, so it does give you a really in-depth description of how you do and things, and that's it really. And it's a very big breakdown, and you can run that report at any point. I ran that at the start when I first uploaded this chapter, and I thought that chapter was actually pretty good. It churned out, say, about 160 issues, and as you'll see now, this is the vision that you get. So you get a toolbar across the top, and you've got your grammar, your issues, your spelling. They all highlight if there are any, and then you click on it and it simply shows you. You've got your summary, what we just went on, and every one of these highlighted boxes at the top, they are all a rundown. They'll go through your document and they will produce the suggestions for that box. So you can do overused words, you can do grammar, you can do a thesaurus is fantastic for me because I don't have a massive bank of words that I use. So when I click on the thesaurus button, it comes up with highlighted a load of words that you can choose, and you just hover over the word, and then it shows you multiple alternatives, which I thought was fantastic. So please, if you want to sign up for the free trial, I've left a link in our description of this video, and it will really help you. Thank you guys, and please check it out and let us know what you think about it.